says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, whatever they call it, a Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust them, and everybody else in between. The Twisted Tuesday has begun. Let's do this thing. We're absolutely stacked, jam-packed tonight. There's a ton of action going on live as we speak. The Minnesota Timberwolves are pulling away on the Phoenix Suns. They're up by 14, 97-83. 5 minutes left in the basketball game. The T-Wolves are poised to take a 2-0 series lead back to the desert. Meanwhile, the Pacers are trying to avoid being down 2-0. They lost game one. They're winning right now, although it's a close game, 70-63. Pacers are playing well. In-game total right now is 229.5. Pacers up 5, 70-65. 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter of play. It's a higher scoring game. Kawhi Leonard back for the Clippers. Dallas Mavericks getting a point right now. We're going to pull the trigger on the Dallas Mavericks and hope for the best. So we were on the Mavericks in game one. They played terrible in the first half. They played better in the second half. We'll see if they can step it up a notch. It wouldn't shock me. I don't love them tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if they went back to Dallas down 2-0. But I'm on the Mavs. I thought the Mavs could win the series. I took them in game one, so we'll stand our ground. We'll pull the trigger with the Dallas Mavericks. NHL hockey. This stuff is lit. The playoffs are off the hook. The Rangers survived tonight. The Capitals just wouldn't go away. The Rangers hang on. They win the game 4-3. Puck line players lose. Parlay players are still alive. Rangers win the game 4-3. Final score. Game goes over the number. Remember last night we discussed how there hasn't been an overtime game yet. And it's kind of rare, actually. Now we're into, day 4 of the NHL playoffs. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Now tonight, we still haven't had an overtime game. And I thought game one between Tampa and Florida was like one of the ones that really could go to overtime in game one. It was a 1-goal game, but it was really a 2-goal game. Tampa scored late. We took the overtime tonight. We got a piece of it after like the first period. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to get in on this overtime. I got it at like plus 260 when it was 2-2. So it's 2-2 still right now. There's 8 minutes left in the game. We're on the Tampa Bay Lightning plus a puck and a half. We got the game to go to overtime. The Winnipeg Jets have struck first. The Jets scored early on the Colorado Avalanche in Winnipeg, another whiteout, and the Jets ended up closing as like plus 110 underdogs, and I don't really understand it. The Jets are being disrespected, in my opinion. Listen, they won game one, right? They have home ice. They won game one, and they're underdogs in game two. It's like, really? Okay. Give me the Winnipeg Jets. So the Jets are up 1-0 right now. We played 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes to be exact, in the peg. Shout out to everyone joining us on Sirius XM Channel 159. I am Gabriel Morency. The big news in the NHL today, the Vancouver Canucks. They were very, very positive. Spirits were high after a game one win first home playoff game in 9 years. They beat the Nashville Predators, but they lose their star goalie, Thatcher Demko. Demko, of course, was out for like the final month of the season, and they held him back to come back for the playoffs, and he ends up getting hurt again. The same knee, not the same injury. So whatever, his knee is not in the best shape right now. It's hockey. Vancouver actually give away more than a lot of other teams do, but they're not saying what the injury is, whatever. We know it's a knee injury, and how long he's going to be out, we don't know. Like, this series is kind of a long one, to be honest. They play tonight, then they don't play again until Friday, and then they play again on Sunday. Now, he played on Sunday night. That would be a full week. If the series goes 7 games, Game 7 would be not this Sunday, but next Sunday. That would be 2 weeks. So I don't know how severe the injury is for Demko, but it clearly is far from ideal for the Vancouver Canucks. No one can dispute this. Casey DeSmith will be the netminder for the Vancouver Canucks. And listen, it should be noted that Casey DeSmith played against the Nashville Predators this year, and he actually won the hockey game. He was the first star of the game. 28 shots, stopped 26 of them. So he's got a win under his belt against the Preds this year. The Vancouver Canucks are 4-0 now on the season against the Nashville. They beat them all 3 times in the regular season. They beat them in Game 1. Maybe there's something going on with this, that Vancouver just are better and or match up well or have Nashville's number. So it's Vancouver's backup goalie tonight, and the Canucks were minus 165 favorites before news of the injury. They're currently minus 130. It dropped to 30 cents, and it's been minus 130 all day. So we're taking the Canucks. I think the Canuck players can step up and play a responsible hockey in their own end tonight, knowing that Demko won't be there to save the day for them if something breaks down. Casey DeSmith is good. He's not going to make the spectacular save that Demko can, and Demko made a few of them the other night, but DeSmith is solid, and at times when teams have the backup goalie, they'll step up and they'll play better. They won't take as many chances defensively, which could be an issue and something that should be noted. It's not so much when DeSmith plays that they give up a ton of goals. His goals against average is .279, but the Canucks don't score as much when he plays because I think they do put more emphasis on the defensive side of the ice. With that being stated, I think the Canucks are going to win the game again tonight. 3-1 final score is plus 1,600. 3-2 final score is plus 900. So either one of them, I think, is in play. So if I like 3-1 and I like 3-2, that means I like the under of the hockey game. I'm going to go under the 6, minus 125 that I got dealt for the total of this game. And we nailed the goal scores the other night. Boom. We gave you Dakota Joshua to score. He did. We gave you Brock Besser to score. He did. We cashed a plus 350 and a plus 200. I almost wanted to say that, you know what, Joshua's going to score again tonight, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I got a feeling that Hughes scores tonight from the blue line on like a power play. And you're getting plus 375 for Hughes to score. And I think it's a JT Miller night tonight. JT Miller to light the lamp, plus 200. So we've got a goal scorer in JT Miller at plus 200, a goal scorer in Hughes at plus 375. We've got the under 6 in the hockey game. I have the Vancouver Canucks to win the game at minus 130. And I actually do like the Canucks in the first period as well. They were trailing the other night. I think especially with the Smith now, it's gonna be like, listen, let's get this lead. Let's get him comfortable. It's like a pitcher, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like a baseball pitcher. The pitcher stuff is going to be better if he's got like a 2 or 3, if he's got a couple of runs to work with. Give the Smith an early goal. Let him like not feel like I need to stop everything. Like, oh, it's all about me, right? It can't all be about him. But I think the Canucks can be fine. Cam Stewart's going to step up and in. We'll get his thoughts and picks on this hockey game and the in-game. Andrew McKinnis in the house. So we've got a couple of puckheads throwing it down with us. We'll hit the NBA. Sean Higgs joins us. And, oh, yeah, we haven't forgotten, baby, about the NFL draft. The NFL draft rapidly approaching. Rick Saratella steps up and then we break it down. The latest rumor was the Raiders went hard after the second pick, but were rebuffed by the Washington Commanders. People believe that the Commanders are locked in and they want Jaden Daniels. I think that people want to trade up, but to get Jaden Daniels. And I think they know Washington are going to take Jaden Daniels, so I'm not sure they want to trade up to the third pick because I think they only really feel like Jaden Daniels is the one worth trading up for. I could be wrong, but the draft is nearly here, and we're still waiting for these blockbuster trades to go down. Oh, the Cardinals are going to make a trade. The Chargers, the Vikings are going to move up. The Broncos are going to move up. The Raiders are going to move up. We're still waiting, but the time is now. We're like 48 hours away from this thing. 2-2 still right now. Tampa and Florida. We're down to 5 minutes remaining in this hockey game. And the Florida Panthers are only minus 135 if you like the home team here. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Lightning pay plus 105. The total is 5.5. We're gunning for overtime in this game. We're 5 minutes away at plus 260 and would cash the ticket with the Tampa Bay Lightning at plus 1.5 if we can get there. So we'll run through the NFL draft tonight. I'll give you all my latest bets, thoughts, props. We'll run the gauntlet over-under on players. We got a full house on the program and a bunch of games to break down. Let's rock. This is Sports Rage.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, whatever they call it, a Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency. The Vancouver Canucks are taking the ice right now as we speak. Rogers Arena once again lit. I've been to a lot of buildings over the years, including Montreal, which is like a hockey mecca. And I can literally say that was the loudest hockey building for like pregame that I've ever been in. Like it blew me away. I was actually surprised. I wondered what the atmosphere was going to be like. And as you see right now, for those of you watching the pregame, look at this building. Like they're fired up. They're nut jobs. And they're ready to rock. But Thatcher Demko is not ready to rock. Breaking news, Thatcher Demko got injured once again. He played through it. He got an MRI yesterday. Felt pain, got an MRI. He's out. They're not saying for how long he's going to be out indefinitely. He might not return for the series, but this series is spread out a bit due to the travel. They play tonight, then they play again Friday. Then they play again Sunday. He played on Sunday, so that would be one full week from the injury. And then potentially if it went 7 games, the next game 7 would be the following Sunday. So it is kind of spread out. That would be 2 weeks. So, like, if he's hurt for that long, then the Canucks are in trouble. We'll see game by game. But let's recall, listen, if you lose because your goalie's out, you deserve to lose. It's basically like football. Like, oh, our court, this got hurt, he got hurt. Well, that's what depth is for. And secondly, there's no crying. There's no one's busting out any violins for anybody at this time of the year. It is what it is. The Las Vegas Golden Knights used like 5 goalies in the playoffs last year and won the Stanley Cup. So next man up. Let's rock. Let's bring in Andrew McInnes right now. McInnes in the house. Cam Stewart, what's going on, McInnes? Before we drop the puck here, what's the play? Vancouver, Nashville with Casey DeSmith between the pipes.
We got over 1.5 goals in the first period, and then I'm going to throw a goalie save prop out. We got goalie saves here. We got under 26.5 saves for Casey DeSmith. I'm not saying anything bad about the guy. I'm saying the team will step up in front of him, play well defensively, meaning he won't have to make as many saves. And I got Connor Garland forward for the Canucks to record a point at a nice price there. You can get that -110.
Cam, what are you doing with this hockey game?
I'm on the under 6, Morency, as McInnes reiterated. You play for your backup goaltender. You have more attention to detail and defense. I expect a lower scoring game. I'm not taking the under in the first period, just under 6 in the game. This game to go to overtime as well. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring affair, maybe like 1-1 or 2-2, and we get overtime. Very tight game between Nashville and Vancouver. I'm under 6.5, Colorado, Winnipeg, and the other game, 1-0 Jets so far.
So you're not picking a winner. What about Nashville and Vancouver, the game itself? Who's going to win the game?
I don't want to say this because you're going to cut my mic. I kind of like Nashville tonight.
You're free. It's your money. You can lay it down on. It's you're free to bet on who,
I like
who
the
you
under.
want to bet on.
Yeah, I got a little on Nashville plus 1.5 and the under, but the under is my play in this game. That's my top tier play, but I do have Nashville in parlays.
I think in the long term, it would hurt. Listen, Vancouver need to get this game. You get this game, you're up 2-0, and then suddenly life's a lot easier, even if you have Casey DeSmith between the pipes, McInnes. You don't want to be locked up at 1, going back to Nashville with the backup goalie. You don't want to put pressure on them. Like, try to score first. And I think the Canucks can win the first period, guys. They were down the other night. I'm expecting them to be hell-bent on to score the first goal tonight. Over the long haul, I think it'll hurt. We noticed Casey DeSmith, when he played in limited spurts, he was good. When he started to play more consistently, he started to struggle a bit. So I think this is simple. But the thing is, the playoffs, they're limited spurts, like 2 days off, 3 days off. There's these little sort of mini increments here. And we should note, Casey DeSmith did play against the Nashville Predators this year. The Canucks won the game 5-2. He stopped 26 of 28 shots and was named the first star of the hockey game, McInnes. So I'm not in a panic tonight because Demko's out. Long term, hurts the Canucks massively. They're going to need him if they play the Edmonton Oilers in the next round. But I think they can handle it tonight.
If he can see it, he can save it. We're not going to see any Vasilevsky or Bobrovsky type saves from him probably. But if he's there, he's not screened, he'll save it. And Gabe, for me, looking at this Canucks game, because you're razzing Cam about not giving a pick. I didn't really give a pick either. And the way I look at it is I kind of lean towards the home team because I like how they won the last game. You look at the Boston Bruins, they win 5-1 their first game, right? I know that every game means something, but in the back of your head, you're feeling great about yourself. I almost love that they won that game the way they did, right? Because they will not be satisfied. In fact, they might feel like they didn't even deserve that win, right? They're going to come in this game just as hungry, if not hungrier, and they're up 1-0. I'm a big fan of winning games that are tight. It keeps you sharp, keeps you dialed.
I can't disagree that it was a good test for the Canucks to play playoff hockey. We wondered how they would respond, and they did. But at the same point in time, they did score those 2 goals in a quick bunch as well. Massive first period tonight, guys. So because you're saying over 1.5 in the first period, Cam's saying under in the game. I'm saying under in the game as well. I played a couple of final score props here, guys. Vancouver to win 3-1, plus 1,600. Vancouver to win 3-2, plus 900.
Ooh, I like that. I like that overtime, too. Tight one.
I don't think this one goes to overtime. I really do believe. I think the Canucks are going to show up tonight.
First overtime game, Gabe. So we hit that Tampa Bay, Florida. That's they're going to overtime. Winner.
Yeah, I
Game
said last
overtime.
night, finally, McKinnis, there was no overtime games. I took the game one to go to overtime in Tampa, Florida. I thought this was the series the most that could go to overtime. So I hit it tonight. I only did it after the first period. I got plus 260. Or I did it after it was 2-2. Whatever. When I looked up, I'm like, man, it's still plus 260. I got to get in on that. I forgot to get that bet in. But I hit Tampa plus a puck and a half as well. I don't think Nashville, Vancouver go to overtime tonight. I could be wrong, but my gut tells me Vancouver are going to play well. DeSmith plays well, and they win the game 3-1.
3-2 and
I think that you guys can hit your under, and I can hit my over. I really do. I mean, sometimes these games, they start with an absolute bang and they settle down, they slow down. I really think we can all win as far as the totals are concerned there. But I mean, 26.5 for the saves there, guys. You know, I've really been jumping on these unders for saves. People talk about unders in general for these games, but if you look at it, they're setting these numbers as if it's the regular season, right? Talk about the books adjusting.
Harder to get pucks through now.
Yeah. Box shot.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, whatever they call it, a Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He's ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Well, then that did not take long. We got an early goal, but it wasn't Vancouver. It was Nashville that scored the early goal. Wasn't the goalie's fault. Forsberg flipped it from the blue line. He just sort of smartly played playoff, flick it at the net type of stuff. He flicked it at the net. I don't know who it hit. Did it hit Beauvillier? It hit Hughes. It hit somebody in front of the net. Bounced in a weird sort of bounced in the net. Goalie never even saw the damn puck. Yeah, that's not the way you want to start, like scoring on the first shot. When you have just, it is what it is. But you know what? The Leafs actually got scored on the other night on their first shot, too. And it rattled them after. We'll see if the Canucks can get back in this. Andrew McKinnis off to a great start. His over 1.5 in the first period. The in-game total of this hockey game is currently 6.5, McKinnis. Canucks are plus 140 right now. Preds are minus 180. It's not a panic for the Canucks. They were down the other night, but you don't always want to be playing from behind all the time. That's what I liked about Edmonton last night. They showed up. They said, you know what, we're not screwing around this year. Right? We're not losing the first game of the series. We're not planting any seeds of doubt that we're going to choke. We're just going to roll them in game one, and they did. You don't always want to be playing from behind, man, in the playoffs. It makes it hard.
Gabe, we're here to make bets, man. How about live bet right now? Canucks next goal -130. Respond, bounce back, fluky goal. Get this team back on track here. I like that bet. I think they're going to get back on track here. The way that they're playing, the way that they've got depth, and hats off to you. I'll tip my cap with Dakota Joshua, former Leaf, actually, having a huge game. And I think that guys like that are making the difference. I'm going to jump in right now, lock it in, -130. Vancouver scores next goal.
I like where you're going with that. I think they will as well. They've been buzzing around a bit. They're pretty good. They've been good during the regular season of responding after they get scored on as well. So, no panic, but unfortunate. You want to keep the building into it. So 1-0. We played 4.5 minutes. We're going to overtime in Florida right now. Tied at 2. So we're going to have a 3-2 final score in that game. The Jets scored early on the Avs, but nothing's happened since. 1-0 with like 10 seconds left in the first period right now. The Indiana Pacers are up by 5. It's a close game. They've been up, but they haven't really pulled away. The Pacers are up 5, 92-87 right now. They're -200 on the money line. The Bucks are +160. Total 231.5. I'm on the Pacers +1 in this game, but still a lot of basketball left in this game, Cam. We're not done yet. Pacers don't have this win in the back pocket yet at all.
You're right. I was feeling good, Morency, but you're right. And then I should have put the brakes on. This is a Milwaukee, and they can score in bunches. But I do like what the Timberwolves did tonight, Gabe. I know we're on them in the series, and I think I'm going to take a shot with the Mavericks tonight to bounce back against the clip joint. That's what we're doing in the NBA tonight. Go Pacers.
Kawhi Leonard is back for the Clippers, McInnes, tonight. Sometimes that throws teams off, though, right? They played well in game 1 without him. So now he's back. Even though he's a great player, it can throw off the chemistry a little bit. The Mavericks were terrible in the first half of game 1. They were better in the second half. They need to step up. You could tell that the intensity is there, at least for them. Low-scoring start here. What was your take on the Mavericks and the Clippers tonight?
My take was that, the best players didn't play the best for Dallas. That's for sure. But when you look at it, this is a team right now, I think that it goes to show, are they lacking depth? When you see all the heroic moments throughout the season, when you see all these big games that they've had Luka and guys put up huge points, if they do not put up those big numbers, can they hang in there? You mentioned Kawhi coming in, Gabe, and that's the thing. It's not us taking a jab at Kawhi by any means, but it's just in general, the systems, the sets you're running, the defensive plays, the pace you play, everything changes when you add someone new to the mix. I'm right now in on Dallas first half money line. This right now is not really a team I wanted to trust for the full game. So I locked in the first half, hoping to get a really angered and motivated effort. Like I mentioned about the last game there for the Canucks, that it was close, right? They won a close game. They'll be focused. I think the fact that the last game wasn't too close will be a big factor for the Dallas Mavericks in the first half.
Vancouver Canucks are on a power play right now. Didn't like that shot from Pettersson. He didn't have a great game 1. He had the puck. Yeah, I would have liked a better shot there. It didn't get through. It got blocked. See if the Canucks, who generally do have a pretty good power play, can get this thing going here and tie this hockey game and make McInnes look smart with them scoring the next goal of the game. Yep. So 92-87, 11 minutes left. We basically have a full quarter of basketball left in Milwaukee. Pacers up a 5 spot. Mavericks up 7-5. We'll track the in-game action, including the overtime of Tampa Bay and Florida. And we'll take a look at the Major League Baseball Diamond, the overnight number from the NHL, NFL Draft, all that and more. Bring it.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10 plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. And that's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, where they call it, a Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Hell of a save by Saros there. Wow. Pad save. Vancouver had a shot in the slot there. Couldn't get the puck high enough. Pad save. Still 1-0 for the Predators. The game has slowed down a little bit. Man, there's just a ton of action going on. The Jets and the Avs are at intermission right now. Nice little bump, Cam. The Pacers have scored a couple of points. They're now up by 8. Excellent. That's good. Because you know Milwaukee's going to go on a run in the last couple of minutes. Lillard's just going to start bombing threes. And he's pretty good at it, too. So you got to be, you know what I mean, McKinnis? Like, he could hit him. You know he's going to do it. So it's like, I don't want, you know, you don't want to make it so you're up by 10 or 12. So it's not easy for them to try to just start hitting a bunch of threes in the last couple of minutes. Really low scoring here, guys, in L.A. 9-8 for the Mavericks midway through the first quarter of play. Mavericks are up. The overtime still hasn't started yet in Florida. Major League Baseball. I bet the Dodgers tonight, but I also took the Minnesota Twins and the Chicago White Sox game. And this Twins team playing against the White Sox team, absolutely brutal. 3 wins on the season. The Twins come back and win, Cam. It wasn't easy, but the Twins win the game 6-5.
Me, you, and McKinnis could be the White Sox bullpen after a jug of whiskey, and just honestly, I think we might get more swings and misses. These guys are absolute hacks. I don't know. This organization has hit the skids, Morency. It's crazy. Like, I thought they were bad, but this is like futility. Like, this is awful. Like, you watch the White Sox play.
They're on pace to win 21 games.
21 games in baseball. Sorry,
Listen, I saw someone tweet. I'll give him credit. Rob Silver, smart baseball guy. Yeah. He's in politics and stuff. He's a smart dude, but used to be on the Fantasy Sports Network a bit. And he tweeted out like yesterday or whatever. Said the Whites now after losing the game. Said the White Sox. It was on the weekend. He said the White Sox are on pace to win 22 games. And he goes, I honestly don't see where 19 wins more come from. And he's not even a better. Like, he's just a smart baseball guy. Like, it's like, yeah, like, can they really win another 20 times? Like, wow. They're terrible. Like, everyone thought Oakland will be this bad.
If they're
Our
ever
boy,
winning.
Dick Card Julio played them to win a division. It might be the worst bet in the history of sports. It's so bad, it's good. Like, he's got to hang on to that one and be proud of it.
That's rough. That's rough.
I'd put I got a plaque and stuff. Like, yeah, I bet the team to win a division, and they're the worst team in the history of baseball. They set an all-time record. They were the worst team ever.
That's the best.
And the Dodgers aren't setting the world on fire either.
4-1. If that team's winning 4-1, do you feel confident? Like, as sports bettors and people that do content and give out picks, we're supposed to tell people not to use the cash out feature. There's way more ways to get around it. You can hedge, you can bet other things. If they're up 4-1, take any cash out they're giving you, or bet the other side. You know what I mean? Like if they have a lead, even though you shouldn't be betting that team in the first place. And this is the thing, guys.
Yeah, I don't recall us ever advising people not to cash out.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
You should see me Sunday at a
in all
golf
these
tournament.
years, we never tell people.
My fingers on
out.
fire. Cash out, cash out, cash out, cash out. I'm like, yes, rebet.
I try to ignore the cash out though, McKinnis. Like in games and stuff, I really do. But sometimes you're like I should have cashed out. There's certain sports, man, where you're like, should have cashed out. Like college basketball, the NCAA tournament, it happened to me a couple of times. I was up by like 14 and stuff. Ended up losing the game. I'm like, man, could have cashed out. But like, it's a good idea, McKinnis. You are right. Smart not to get into it. Instead of cashing out, come up with another bet that you can win them both. I'm totally with you. That's why I don't like hedging, bro. I am diametrically opposed to placing two bets that'll lose. Like I had UConn to win the title, and people are coming in, well, you should just take Purdue now and you'll make money. I said, no, I'll also make money if I take UConn again and lay the points in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why would I, I'm not, like, oh, you'll make money for sure. No, I'm donating money. I'm losing money if I take Purdue when I do that. I didn't think they had a hope in hell of winning. Why would I bet on?
Correct. You're absolutely correct, but I will say in golf, it's a problem when you have a leaderboard with 6 guys at -10. And you're going, okay, you got to pick a couple guys and go, okay, this is the deal. Yeah, that sport will kill you. And that's where the cash out and the hedge is for if you got a couple guys in the race.
You got to sprinkle on a couple of guys at good odds and just hope that there's the 2 or 3 you took. You can't take everybody. Otherwise, you just Gene Simmons at the Kentucky Derby.
It's like Babano's list. I look at him. I'm like, wow, the guy's got 40 golfers in a 66 guy tournament. I'm like, okay.
It's like Gene Simmons of KISS. He goes to the Kentucky Derby every year and he bets on every horse. And he goes, I never lose. And he has 21 tickets. So good for you, Gene. Thanks. Good pick.
Yeah, good tip.
You can't bet every.
You win money if the underdog hits, though. If the long shot hits.
That's the thing. With mine that Gene's like, hey, I won. But the people
when that 65 to 1 hit every 10 years and it happens, you're like, damn, man. I see it's not bad.
That's true. Derby's coming up, actually. It's real close. It's going to be an interesting race.
I couldn't name one horse that's in that thing. Bunch of junkies, like Trump would say. Junkie horses.
Yeah, I like junkie horses. Yeah, they're friends. Yeah.
Big drug problem.
Yeah,
big drug problem. So how about this, guys? The Nashville Predators don't have another shot on goal since McKinnis. They have 1 shot on goal, and they scored.
This is what I was about to ask you guys. Can the Nashville Predators win a game in this series where they have to score 4 goals or probably even 3? I mean, because this is the thing. I was looking today on my show while I was live going over their last 15, 20 games of the regular season. They turned it on offensively. They started to get going after their coach wouldn't let them go watch U2 at the Sphere. They started scoring 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals. But now that we're in the playoffs, they've got UC Saros. Demko's out, right? They've got the goalie edge. We've got 8 minutes left in this first period. Are they going to park the bus already? Do they want to win 2-0 in this game? Probably.
That's their MO against Vancouver. They know Vancouver's got more skilled players. They got guys who can actually finish. Nashville wants to turn this into a boring hockey game, and that's a dangerous game you're playing against a team like Vancouver, but that's what they want to do. If they get a 2-goal lead, you watch them play like New Jersey Devils old school hockey, Trap City.
Vancouver have them on their heels. They just can't score. If you watch this, you're like, oh, Vancouver look like the better team now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. There's a nice save from DeSmith. That's that way their second shot.
LA Kings trying to play a 1-3-1 against the Edmonton Oilers. Good luck with that, guys. 1-3-1 against the Oilers. Yeah, okay. You're not going to be able to do that against the speed that they have. That's for sure. You got to try and play hockey against.
One thing that concerns me, though, guys, is even though LA doesn't score a lot and they scored 4 goals, Edmonton's a wicked team, but they got to tighten up when they play a real team. That's the problem. LA should not score 4 goals on you against any team in the league. That's the one thing about the Oilers that concerns me. They have to win like a 5-4 game, 6-5 game. That's their MO. They can't win a short 2-1 game.
They just took the pedal off the metal in a couple of minutes left. It was 6-2. There was like a goal, 6-3, and it just sort of got sloppy. But you're right. You don't want to get bad habits, but they just got sloppy in the last couple of minutes. But the game was never really in question. Man, Vancouver's buzzing. Just put the puck in the net, man. It's coming. It's like right here. Shoot. It's coming. God. Like they are literally, it's like they're on the power play, but they're not. Like they literally, Nashville cannot get the puck out of their own end. The crowd's going crazy. The Canucks are buzzing. Here's your boy Garland. That should be a penalty. Call that, ref. He just tripped them.
Florida just won. Florida won.
No,
Panthers, huh?
Yeah,
I'm 30 seconds behind you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, McKinnis.
Man.
I wanted to watch that game.
No.
I thought you guys were watching the Vancouver game. But anyway,
Yeah,
I need
it's all
Tampa
right,
Bay, but
but-
I got the +1.5 in the parlay. But that's it. Tampa's down 2-0. Wow. Florida, clutch.
It was minus
Tampa's
170
crazy.
for the +1.5, but it was a good play. It's tight, right? They'll win. Like they just Florida finds a way. But Tampa, I think Tampa can still win when they get back home. It's a tough place to play. It's an electric building. I think they can tie the series, though. I think this series is going to be a long one.
Great.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. And that's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a Posturepedic, whatever they call it, a Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He's ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
A popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. Let's roll. The Indiana Pacers are rolling right now. We talked about building a cushion so they can eliminate any potential Buck comeback. They've done exactly that. 112-92 right now. 112-92 with 6 minutes left. They're in control. The Mavs are up a 5 spot, 18-13 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. They're currently minus 140 on the money line. The in-game total is 204.5. NHL hockey, the Jets are up 1-0 after 20 minutes. In-game total 5.5 now. The Jets are minus 210. The Jets closed at plus 110. I thought that was pretty disrespectful for a team to won game one. It has home ice. The Canucks are currently plus 170 on the money line, plus 1.5, minus 155, which I think is actually a good bet. And the total's 5.5. What do you think about the in-game right now, Andrew? And let me ask you, you're starting to sweat out the over 1.5 a little bit. Oh, look, Vancouver
I'm
on
starting to get nervous.
Nashville going on a power play. Vancouver just committed a penalty.
Okay,
How
that's
much time's
good.
left
That's
in the period?
helpful. 5 minutes, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
5 minutes, 5:18.
Well, that's what I said to you guys, and I wasn't trying to, cover myself by any means, but it's like, man, I almost would have wanted Vancouver to score the first goal and not Nashville, right? I mean, it's Nashville scoring the first goal. They're going to just be like, feel good about themselves, start tightening things up. We got a power play. We'll be good to go here. In game, look, I completely understand the fact that, you'd want to look towards an under because of how crazy that game was, and I understand it. But I think people are underestimating the offensive depth that the Winnipeg Jets really have. Like, they scored 7 goals. Monahan didn't have a point that game. Pionk didn't have a point that game. Toffoli didn't get a point that game. Like, a lot of guys didn't even play their best hockey. And they still have guys that are like fourth and third liners scoring goals. To me, you're going to get McKinnon. You're going to get Rantanen. Makar's going to jump into the rush. We're seeing a 5.5 plus money now. I'm actually going to jump in on the live over, guys. I think Winnipeg has more to offer. I've realized this isn't the same Winnipeg team as years past where they're going to get a goal and sit back. They're confident in their offensive ability. I truly believe that, and that's what's changed about them this season.
That's a good point. Bonus wants to play attacking hockey, and they're doing a good job of doing it. At least they did in game 1. 1-0. The second period has just started, so McKinnon says over 5.5 there. So looking at the overnight numbers and still 50 seconds left on the power play, Vancouver have done a nice job killing it off the first minute. Man, this has been a long 2 minutes, though. Because Vancouver have dumped the puck a couple of times. I figured, man, it's got to be almost over yet. Oh, God, you had an opportunity there. You got to clear that. All right, there you go. They basically have killed it off almost. One more, 30 seconds left, but the puck's behind Nashville's net. One more rush coming up. So tomorrow night, we're back in Toronto. I would say the building was going to be rocking tomorrow. That's a lie. It is. Yeah. It is Toronto after all, but we'll see. Right? It'll be rocking outside. Like I said, they should. They bring in some of the people from outside. They always have a contest where they'll bring in some fans, like 12. They'll give away like 12 tickets or something like that. But it's too bad. Hopefully, you get the Rowdies in there tomorrow. Boston at Toronto, McInnes. The Leafs are minus 115 favorites. The total is 5.5. I like the fact that Matthews scored in the fashion that he did. I think that it could give him some confidence. He struggled a lot in the playoffs. That was a big goal, get a game winner like that on a breakaway. So we'll see if he can continue the momentum and start scoring some goals for the Leafs. What do you make of game 3 here with the Bruins and Leafs?
Guys, I mentioned earlier that sometimes when you win by a lot in game 1, it can set you back a little bit. I'm not saying the Boston Bruins looked at the Leafs lightly in game 2, but I certainly really liked how this Maple Leafs team responded after the loss. Their expected goal numbers were over 6, and they still only scored 1 goal. They played physical, played rough, but got the job done in game 2. It's going to be tough for them to do that again, but I really like the fact that they'll get the last change. This is going to be an opportunity for Sheldon Keefe to show what he can do. And, they come out with a split in Boston. They get to put the guys that they want out against who they want now, which I believe will help them in a big way. I mean, I know I kind of sound like the over machine here, guys, giving out all kinds of overs. But I think back to Toronto, we see all kinds of goals again. And I do believe that the Maple Leafs take the game tomorrow, lose game 4. We go back to Boston 2-2 tied up. This to me is going to be we all know what's going to happen here. We all know this is going to go 6 or 7. And I think Mitch Marner at plus 180 gets back on the score sheet, scores a goal. I've been chirping him. So is the entire Leafs fan base. So is everybody on social media. Where's a guy like Mitch Marner going to play best, guys? At home. When this team gets the last change, gets to pick the assignment he gets to go up against. I think the Leafs get the job done, but I like the goals even more.
They haven't gotten the job done in these situations in the past, where they get back home, you figure, okay, they can win this game, take a series lead. They haven't been great at home in the postseason over the years. Cam, what do you think happens tomorrow?
I think it's going to be very important that the Leafs get off to a good start. They played a great game in Boston. As McInnes said, they were very physical, outshot them, outhit them. They played great. Samsonov made saves when he had to. They were good. I'm going to take the Leafs tomorrow, but I'm worried. Boston's a very dangerous road team. But McInnes brings up a great point. Take a look at the Boston Bruins when they're second and third line players compared to the Leafs. If Keefe matches things up right, the Leafs are a better team, and they got to find a way for their stars to finish the job. You're right, McInnes. Marner's been a little bit lazy defensively. He missed an assignment with that late goal at the end of the period. He's going to step up. Matthews has confidence now, and Tavares looks like he's into this thing. That's huge to have an older guy into it too. The defense, a little bit worried. I like the over 5.5, and I'll take the Leafs. I think they win the game like 4-2, just over the number.
Gabe, really quick, I know you mentioned about them like having trouble taking the lead in a series, but I will say, dating back to like the last 7 or 8 years since they started making the playoffs again, Game 3 has been their whatever the word is, their hot, most profitable game of a series. Game 3 over all the series they've been in since they broke their playoff slump has been their best game of each series.
Because usually down 2-0. They're desperate.
They need it.
These guys.
Can they go up this time?
Even when they win, I love it. It's just amazing to believe.
Well, I'm just saying. No, they played a good game last night. I was on them. I bet on both games. But now you're going to get a desperate and an angry Boston team tomorrow night early, right?
Oh, I know.
More on the other side.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York team has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. And that's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a Posturepedic, what do they call it? A Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
The Vancouver Canucks are on the power play right now. The final 23 seconds of the period here. It'll carry over into the next, into the second period if they don't score. They nearly did. They've come really close to scoring a couple of times. Now it's just getting frustrating how close they've come. It'd be massive to score in the last 9 seconds here. They're actually doing their best. One more shot here. Shoot it, bro. Shoot it. Oh, how the hell did that not go in? Like, there's 2 times where I thought it was in, where I'm like, oh, that's going in. I don't know how this last one with Pettersson, I got to see the replay. How did that not end up going in? He missed the net. Wide open.
Saros is a little guy. You know what he is? He's really quick. You got to get, I know. And they're on a 4-minute power play, too, by the way. Jets could be in big trouble here. Saros, Gabe, you see him, too. He's small frame. You got to go high on that guy. He's very, very acrobatic and quick, but he's got holes because he's a little guy. That's the thing. He doesn't take up a lot of the net, so you can find holes on Saros. You just got to pick your spots.
He's played well. Nashville have blocked like 8 shots in the first period, too. Like, they're really sacrificing their body a lot. That last play, though, Pettersson had an open net. It was a perfect pass. Like, they set it up perfectly. He took his time. He shot. He missed. He hit the side of the net. He was going short side. He hit the side of the net, but you got to bury that, bro. Wow, that was frustrating. And McKinnis, you should have won your bet right there on that last. And I would have got a push with the first period money line.
That's tough.
Wow, that's frustrating, bro. It's almost like missing a dunk. It's like, dude, you were like just
keeps happening. I'll tell you what, guys. I think everybody watching should start betting on this guy in the rest of the series. Arturi Lehkonen over 2.5 shots on goal. I just cashed him at plus 135 to get 3 shots. The game's in the second period. Last game 1, he had 7 shots on goal.
Yep.
Because do you think anybody that's a casual hockey fan knows who the hell Arturi Lehkonen is? No.
Nice bet.
They know McKinnon, Makar, Rantanen. Lehkonen over 2.5 plus 135, guys. Shots on goal. Great prop.
Good.
And you've already hit. You already hit it,
yes.
Huh? So, all right, so tomorrow night, before we get you out of here, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. Dallas were putrid last night. They got ambushed early. They're going to have to play much better tomorrow night, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. They've dug themselves a quick hole. Ottinger was shaky. Defensively, they were sloppy in their own end. What do you make of game 2? Hard to trust the Stars at minus 180, I'll tell you that.
It is.
So I love what you said there, Gabe. You know, it doesn't mean they're going to win because they kind of have to bounce back. And all season long here on Sports Rage, I've been talking about team totals. Well, I'm not going away for it for the playoffs. Over 3.5 goals plus 110 for the Dallas Stars. This team will not win games this series, I don't think, without scoring 4 goals anyway. This is going to be a high-scoring series. Ottinger is still a good goaltender. They've got depth. They've got shooters. Their power play is good. Worry about one team. Don't worry about what Vegas does. Worry about the Dallas Stars. If you guys like Dallas tomorrow, bet the team total plus 110.
What do you think the LA Kings do? How do they respond after getting drilled in game 1?
Man, Gabe, part of me wants to say under because it's like, you know, how do you defend this Oilers team? But I'm just going to feel like a clown. You know, I'm going to feel like Bozo the Clown if I take the under in an Oilers game right now. The way this team plays, Connor McDavid had 5 assists yesterday. You know, how do I go ahead and jump in on an under after he does that? Hyman with a hat trick, Draisaitl with a goal. I can't do it. I really can't do it. So when it comes down to it right now, I got to look towards the Edmonton Oilers to get the job done in regulation. I think that the Kings, the first win of this series for them will be at home in game 3. They'll have to win game 4 to tie it up. I think the Oilers take game 2.
Andrew McKinnis with us. We got about a minute and a half, McKinnis. Have you bet the NFL draft at all?
I have not. I've been following along a little bit, but I've been super busy with the NHL playoffs and baseball, and I haven't looked at it. So I thought about trying to find something before coming on your show, Gabe, but I don't want to give out ill-advised picks, so I'm passing.
Very disappointing. Nevertheless, thank you very much, McKinnis.
I thought you were going to say very disciplined. Very disciplined.
No, disappointing.
Disappointing.
No, it's
Brock
all good.
Bowers. That's my big
Thanks,
bet,
guys.
Gabe. Already took him under 10 and a half. Smashed it. Go Bowers.
But
scored.
Why force, like you said, because if you haven't studied, there's so much playoff stuff going on. It's almost overwhelming, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The playoffs, the draft popping up right now, but it's in less than 48 hours. Thanks, Andrew. Wager talk.
Yeah.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10 plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.